A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Nahmadahu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Fa amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today's story is very interesting. Today's story is based on there is no age for marriage. There's no old age, or you've gone off the age, or you cannot get married. You're this much old now. There's no age for marriage. It's all a matter of how your mind and heart feels. How people say that the biological years don't matter. It's the way you feel. If you feel young, if you're young at heart, you're young. You feel like getting married, then you're okay to get married. And there are young people who feel that they are not ready for marriage, and so it's their mind, it's their mental makeup. So if your heart and your mind believes that you are ready for marriage and you need the companionship, age doesn't matter. Of course, we keep hearing, especially in Hollywood and in the film world, people getting engaged at the age of 65, 75, and we don't mind. We think it's abnormal. It's not really good. But actually, there's no age for marriage. Any age is okay as long as you are ready to take the responsibility that goes with marriage. This is a story of a very dear couple who is somebody very dear to me, and they were happily married couple. They were like lovebirds, extremely loving couple. The man and the woman had a very lovely married life. They shared responsibility. They have 2 daughters, very beautiful 2 daughters. They loved their parents. The whole family was really like a story family. It's like a storybook family, extremely loving family. Daughters are very well brought up. The wife and the husband, they really spend a lot of time together and with the children. They have a very high social life because obviously the man is placed in a very higher bracket and professional, whatever. Alhamdulillah, everything going fine. A beautiful family. They got their first daughter married. Then they got the second daughter married, and then the wife started having problems. She was suffering from cancer. Bad news for the family. All of them suffered with the grief of going through the ailment of this woman. And she's a lovely woman, adorable woman. She went through cancer, and in that, the cancer took away her life. They couldn't do much. It's time. Sometimes you can do everything and yet not really get through. Qadar Allah. That was the time she had to go. And she was gone. Because she was gone, the husband felt absolutely lost without her. He was extremely fond of her and very used to being with her. Because they did things always together, he could not carry on as if his life had come to a standstill. And imagine when they were like a very beautiful family always together, one by one the daughters, because there was no son, daughters, they got married and they've gone to their own families. And they thought they could now start having their own lovely time together. They would travel the world and do things. The wife's gone. The man has everything, but he has plenty of loneliness surrounding him. He's maybe 55 years old. Obviously, his hair's great, children married, children are having children also. He became a grandfather. Time's going by, his loneliness getting worse day by day, month after month, and year after year. After 2-3 years passed away, we had to take care of this man. The very lively, jolly person looks very dull all the time. Started looking old, sad, every time depressed. And then he mentioned that he used to go for some official work to an official place where he has found there's a lady who's maybe grown older than her age. And maybe she thinks she's now old and nobody is going to really propose her anymore. She's lost the age of marriage. How quickly we stamp, especially girls, that they are now overage for marriage. This is an issue. That's the issue we are going to tackle about and handle. There is no age for marriage. This lady is now 45 years old. Obviously, she does not think, because of the societal setup and our cultural problems, she does not think she can marry anymore. What made her that age and she didn't marry? Now let me tell you a little bit about this lady. This lady had many brothers and sisters. Now with so many brothers and sisters, mother and father, she was probably the older sister. Father passed away. Mother depended on this elder daughter to be the right hand, to help around, looking after the other brothers and sisters, for their education, for settling them in life. So this daughter took it upon herself to make sure that she's there to look after her brothers and sisters. If she gets married and goes, there's no one to look after the mother and the brothers and sisters. So sort of, she actually didn't really think about herself at the moment, and she kept it aside for the time being. She thought, I'm not in a hurry, we'll see it later, let this finish, let that finish. She's doing her college, he's doing the university, he should get a job, she should get married, and so on. She didn't realize the time went by. Age came up. And when she crossed 30, it became difficult. By that time, she was through with her brothers and sisters. But then, in our society, they look down upon any woman who's crossed that age. And then they start thinking, she's overage for marriage. So she was already looking overage for marriage. So after 35, she gave up the idea of marrying and she decided to build up her career. And she was building up her career. And she was working, looking after her old mother, and of course she was also looking after, as a guardian, looking over all her brothers and sisters. Time went on, and obviously she decided, and she has taken, she's accepted the fate that she may be not getting married because the time is gone. Now for this gentleman who I just told you about, who lost his wife in cancer, he's a lonely man, and he realized that this lady, who he sometimes meet during some official papers that he had to submit in the office, and he meets this lady, he realized that she's a very fine lady, well educated, well mannered, very cultured, and he found out, to his surprise, that she'd never been married. And he mentioned it to us that, she's never been married and she's a nice lady. And we thought, why don't you settle down with her? And he said, come on, I'm a grandfather. What will people say? That's all we think. What will people say? But people don't come here to make our lives. They don't help us to survive. They don't help us to smile. They are very quick at making judgments, opinions, negative ones, to make it uncomfortable for us, to obstruct into our progress, into something better. And so, we all decided to encourage this man to think seriously about this lady. And the positive side is, look, you're going to give a life to that lady. She may have thought, time's gone, age is gone. And you're also thinking like that. But why should you? You need a companion. You need somebody to be with. In your lonely times at home, and when you travel, when you go around in your social gatherings, you need a companion. So it struck him that he should give it a try. Tried talking to that lady, and she thought, of course, it's not possible. Is it possible? And she did welcome the idea, and why not? He was a good gentleman with good reputation, from very good family. He's settled, well-to-do, handsome. Everything is there. And he's a widow. So there's nothing that really looks, something that she would think about in a negative manner. And so she decided to give it a go. Meet him, try to find him to be compatible. And she thought, he's a very nice person, a very gentleman. And then when she tried to find out about him, everybody said he was a very loving husband. And that set her into saying yes for this marriage. Look how quickly we judge. You're 55-year-old. You're thinking of marriage? You're 60-year-old. Are you thinking of marriage? No. You should think of grave. Yeah, we can think of grave even at the age of 25, even at the age of 15. That doesn't mean we don't carry on with life. So there is no age for marriage. And these two lovely people got married. And believe me, only if I could bring them over on this show and make you meet them, they are as lovely as I'm sounding and telling you about them. Lovely people having a beautiful life. They go around together, they discover places, and believe me, this gentleman looks much younger than he looked before. Suddenly, as if life boost has been given to him. And she is being a very good wife to him, looking after him and also carrying on with her career. So she has not really lost anything except gaining a lot. And he's gained a beautiful companion to go around with. And you know the beautiful part? When they were having their marriage photos taken, the grandchildren came running and calling, "Grandfather, grandfather," and he was saying, "I'm a bridegroom, stay away, I'm going to take a picture with my bride." Can you imagine? This man, he was happy that he's finally getting married again. And you know the beautiful part? The first thing I observed when I visited them after their marriage, I went to the bedroom for some reason because they wanted to show me something in the bedroom, some piece of art. When I went to see in the bedroom, I saw his wife who died with cancer, her big portrait over their bed. I looked at that picture and I thought this would have been removed. You know, the first thing we think about, the second wife will come and she's going to just remove all the memories of the first wife. She did not remove anything of hers. And I told her, I appreciate the way you have kept everything the way it was when the first wife was there. She said, yes, because I have not replaced her. Her presence is there because when her children come home, they should feel it's her home still. The mother's presence is there. I should not remove her. I didn't replace her. She's gone. I've just come into the family as an added thing. How nice to think about it. What was the reaction of the daughters? You must understand how the stepdaughters think about it. They were very hesitant with the idea. I've told a beautiful story with a very happy ending. All of you are feeling happy. But there is a sad angle here. And we have to touch that. What did the daughters feel about it? They were very groggy. They were confused, sad, hurt, emotionally feeling absolutely depressed. Our father wants to get married. Just because our mother died, he wants to get married? What a criminal. Why? Aren't we selfish? Aren't we only thinking about ourselves? Could somebody go and tell those daughters, look, you people are settled in your own homes. You have a spouse. Now you have children. You're so busy. Do you know you're not able to visit your father that often? And there are times he's coughing and in fever in bed, he wants a glass of water. There are times he's lonely and depressed, he wants a companion to drive with. Can you bring that companionship to him? Why be selfish? Give him a chance. Give that lady a chance. Maybe she'll prove to be a good companion to your father. And maybe she'll bring life into your father. And maybe she will be somebody who really looks after him. And she did. She turned out to be an excellent companion. And they are living a very blissful life, mashallah. May Allah keep them happy always. But it took some time for these daughters to come around. They were hesitant. It took them a long time to see to it that they are able to accept this lady. But this lady didn't give up. She just went being good in all the aspects she could. And she tried her best. She did not see them as stepchildren. She just saw them as young children who lost their mother and are confused. See the outlook of a stepmother, how it should be. She should also not think, look at these two urchins. Now, are they going to be an obstacle in my happiness with my new husband? No. She could understand the entire psychology behind these two girls feeling insecure. They were feeling insecure. Will I lose my father to this woman? Will she take him away? Will he look after us? Will he welcome us? Or is she going to act strange? Is she going to remove all the belongings of her mother and keep it aside and take over the whole place? Is she going to take over our dad also? All these insecurities were actually clogging their mind and their attitude. So they were not very welcoming. They were not smiling at her. Sometimes, most of the time, we stamp and blame the second wife who comes in as stepmother. But here, sometimes you have to look at the stepchildren and their minds. Somebody has to advise them to be a little bit more open-minded and to give them a chance. And she proved herself, and now they are all happy together. With this happy ending, I don't want to end the story. Because the topic is that there is no age for marriage, a quick small story to add with this. In a village in India, there is a relative who's very old. He's about 65 years old. His wife was about 60 years old. Very lovely woman, but she also succumbed to cancer. And they were also very happy couple together, loving couple together. And she died in the hospital, very sad. And this man went into depression. Suddenly, as though somebody has made him grey. Although it was his age to grey, but he looked older than before, more sad. He became very quiet. He reduced, his appetite was reduced, and he was reduced to a small, thin man, as if he is just losing the determination and will to live. He was lost without his wife, without his companion. In the same village, there was another lady who had lost her husband long ago. She was also around 60 years old, and she was living alone. She had kids. They had all gone abroad for jobs, and girls got married. Son went away somewhere. She was living all by herself alone in the house. We decided to get this lady, marry this man. See, there's no age for marriage. And this 60-year-old woman got married to this 65-year-old man, and today they are happily married. It's not always about having babies or making some big miracles in marriage. Sometimes marriage is all about companionship. In fact, most of the time, marriage is all about companionship and compatibility. And there's no age for marriage. So if anybody out there is thinking they've lost the age of marriage, they are widow, divorcee, overage, overweight, or any such situation which has crossed that limit and is giving you these negative thoughts, don't be so negative. Think positively. Write to us. Tell us your problem. Maybe we can find you a spouse which matches your age, and who doesn't mind marrying somebody of your age, or maybe looking for somebody your age. So please write your opinions, comments, express yourself at express@mybetterhalf.com, and let us see if we can find you a spouse who can give you a happy ending in your life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.